This morning we begin with the latest on the fallout and the political consequences from China's move to release the two Michaels. Beijing's foreign ministry is making it clear this morning at its latest foreign affairs update the case may be resolved, but China believes that Canada still has a lot to answer for, and it will take a long time to mend fences. The response from China this morning following the whirlwind of diplomacy and developments that happened Friday and Saturday. Suddenly, after 1,019 days, Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig were whisked away from detention and homeward bound to Canada. You see these scenes as they landed on home soil to be greeted by the Prime Minister and the Foreign Affairs Minister in Calgary, almost at the same time as Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou touched down in China, out of Canadian custody thanks to that deferred prosecution arrangement and agreement she struck with the United States over sanction violations. Patrick Falk was at the Foreign Affairs briefing this morning, asking questions for us, and he's live in Beijing right now. Based on what the spokesperson said, Patrick, strong reaction and still harsh words for Canada.
Yeah, that's right, Heather. I mean, today was an important day. The Foreign Ministry affair press briefing was the first forum, really, for official response. And really, you get the sense that, this sense of elation attached to Meng's return to China has given way to hard-nosed diplomacy, and China really making a point of giving its side of the story and setting the record straight, if you like. There were a lot of questions from reporters about, the timing of everything that happened and also how China could account for it and how this could be considered anything but a case of hostage diplomacy or hostage taking with Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor. And, Hua Chunying said, look, the cases are completely separate. As we've heard many times before, they said that Meng's case was a case of political persecution against a Chinese citizen aimed at hobbling a Chinese tech company, whereas the case of Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor were about endangering national security. Look, I think that, frankly, a lot of people aren't going to be convinced by that, but, that is the stance that Beijing is taking, and that's what it's sticking with.
So from that briefing, did you get a read on where Beijing sees relations with Canada right now, Patrick?
Yeah, well, these developments have happened so quickly over the last few days, and, the whole thing is still so fresh in people's minds and peoples and governments, citizens of the respective countries, and emotions are really still quite raw. So the reactions from the Foreign Ministry today were really quite strong. I mean, one thing that Hua Chunying talked about in particular was saying that Canada did a dirty job in arresting Meng Wanzhou on behalf of the United States, and said that, it was politically motivated and it was a mistake by the US and Canada. So with these sorts of comments being made, it does seem difficult to get ties back on track. There was also a point made in response to Foreign Affairs Minister Marc Garneau's four-pronged approach that he talked about on Sunday, saying that Canada would coexist, compete, cooperate and challenge China. To that, Hua Chunying said state-to-state relations need to build on the basis of mutual respect, fairness and mutual interest, and that China hoped that the Canadian side could keep its eyes wide open and to take a pragmatic approach to the situation.
Patrick, thank you. Patrick Falk.